Welcome back, y'all, to another video here on Whiplash TV. I appreciate y'all for coming on back to the channel and checking out another video today. Today I'm going to show you how you can bring back paint after over 5 years of dirt and dust and even some overspray has sat on the paint, and we're going to get all that off the paint. I'm going to show you how to do it and how to bring that paint back to a good looking condition, almost good as new. This car y'all may have seen in a previous video. This is a new project car, a 2001 Chevy Camaro SS. It has had a lot of work done to it underneath. If you haven't seen the unveil video, it was about 2 months ago and it's on the channel. Go check that out. So this will be our first video of really doing something to the Camaro, and we're going to start with this paint. I'm also going to go over a new tool that I got. It's the Milwaukee 15mm Orbital polisher, cordless, and it uses their M18 battery system. And I already have a bunch of Milwaukee tools, so I went with that tool and also heard some good stuff about it. So today I'm going to try it out for the first time and give y'all my honest opinion of the tool and what I think about it. Nobody has sponsored this video. I've bought everything with my own money, and also these videos are going to be sponsored obviously by the proceeds from these videos, and y'all can help me out for free by hitting that like button underneath the video. Also, by hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already underneath the video. And also ring that notifications bell. Look, even if you think you're subscribed, please just double check and see if you've already hit that subscribe button or not, because very few % of subscribers are watching the videos, so I really need your help to get those subscription numbers up. Also, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this really big transformation that you're going to see today. Let me know what you think about it, and throughout the video I have another question that I'd like y'all to answer in the comments, and it really helps out the video and it helps me out. I'll read them. I read every single comment, and I'll also get back to you in the replies if you have any questions. All of the equipment, both the Milwaukee tool and the different polishes and clay bar and different things that I'm going to use today, links for that can be found in the video description beneath the video. So all you have to do is click the link and you can go buy the products that you see me use today. All right, let's start by taking a look at this new Milwaukee tool. All right, y'all, I just got this brand new tool in. I got a Milwaukee M18 15mm orbital polisher. Here's the part number for y'all for the tool only, 2684-20. I've heard a lot of good stuff about this tool from the few reviews that I've seen, and I have a lot of other Milwaukee stuff. I have their leaf blower, I have their chainsaw, I even have their weed eater, I've got screwdrivers, impact, hacksaw, all sorts of stuff. So it made sense, since I already had the ton of batteries and different Milwaukee things, to go with this tool. So let me get the tool open, we'll see what comes with it inside. So inside you simply get the tool itself, and then you get a owner's manual, and that's about it. So like I said, this is the 15mm orbital polisher. It's made really nice and it's really heavy duty, has a bit of weight to it. I have some pads coming, and then also some different compounds and things that Dustin McGovney told me to get. He's the one that did the paint correction on the Cadillac. He did an amazing job. Go check out that video on the channel if you haven't seen that already, and check that out. But I need this tool because I've got a lot of buffing to do on this Camaro. So on this Camaro, as y'all have seen in the video where I've gotten it, it's really, really clean underneath. It's really nice, but on the outside, it leaves a bit to be desired. So I think the previous owner planned to paint it or wrap it or do something, because it's got a combination of dust and overspray on it. So it's really not in that great shape on the paint. Everything else is in great shape. Back here, I put a little bit of work in by hand, and you can see that section that cleaned up right above the door handle. And you can see just how bad it is where it's not cleaned up. So we are going to get to work on this hood to start with. Also, I'm going to take off the LS1 Sidewinder and take that sticker off. I don't know of anything special that is signifying, so that's going to come off of there. I'll tape off a portion of the hood and get to work on it and show y'all the progress and how I'm going to do it. And I'll give y'all a little bit of a review on this tool and how I like it and how it works for me, and see what kind of results we can get out of it. So here are the products I got for the pads for the new Milwaukee tool. Then I also got some cutting stuff and also some polish. So I got this stuff from Parks Car Care. They're over in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was recommended to get this stuff from them. And again, the guy who did the Cadillac, he highly recommended them. So I got 2 of these Lake Country Manufacturing heavy duty orbital polishing pads. Fit the 5-inch backing plate for the Milwaukee tool that I've got. 2 of those. And then the same brand, these are a heavy polishing pad. So these will be for cutting. Got 2 of those. Dustin recommended that I get 2 because you're kind of fighting heat when you're cutting and polishing. And as you do panels or as they get dirty, you need to rotate. So 2 of each will be good for that. Got some of their Q2M clay. It's just mild detailing clay. So this is what was suggested that I use first to clean up the surface a little bit before we go into cutting and polishing. So this is their Finesse Master Series 1-step compound. This right here is for polishing. This is also from their Precision Master Series. This is their cutting compound. This is some advanced clay lubricant. Just some lubricant for that clay bar for claying it. It also came with a sprayer for the clay lube. I also got a package of these that Dustin suggested to get. These wax and shine polishing and all-purpose kiln towels. So after you buff and you cut or you're polishing or whatever you're doing, these towels work great, he said, for, you know, wiping off, cleaning behind you, taking a look at what you got. So got a pack of these. I'm going to be comparing the clay bar lube and clay to the Chemical Guys stuff. So I like Chemical Guys stuff. Maybe this is another notch above. I like Chemical Guys stuff. I've used their medium clay and I've used their clay luber. So I'm interested to see how this works compared to the Chemical Guys medium clay. So let's get over to the Camaro, and I'm going to tape off half the hood and we'll start clay barring it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe the panel with just some waterless wash just to wipe it off. Also show y'all that it's not just dirt that's sitting on here. That will just wipe off. I'm not doing that trying to show, you know, like a bunch of results or whatever off of something that's really easy to get off, because it's not. You can hear when I run my hand over it, even with it still a little bit wet from this here, you can still hear the grit. went ahead and removed that LS1 Sidewinder black sticker on there. As you can see, that right there is easily visible where that sticker was at. So you can tell how clean the paint is underneath and how dirty and dingy the rest of this is. So before I get started with this clay bar, let me go ahead and give you a little disclaimer, okay? I am not a professional paint correction person. I have not done this tons and tons of times over. So I am new and somewhat a novice to doing this type of stuff. So I'm going to be learning today as I'm working on this, and I will try to provide any feedback that I have for y'all on doing this correction and cleaning up this paint. I have done clay barring before, and I have done just normal stuff by hand, but never a heavier duty correction like this. So with your clay, you want to take and get a piece off of there. You don't want to use the whole thing. You just want to get a section of it. And this is what you're going to use to start with, and you will knead it. Wrap up the rest of the clay, put it back in the package. Try to keep it from drying out. So now you're simply going to take your clay and you're going to take the paint. You want it nice and wet. You don't want the clay to be sticking to the surface. Let's see if we can get anything up. It already is picking up some dirt from my hands on the clay, and I haven't even wiped the car with it. So with this clay, you want to wipe it in a single direction one way, and then you want to work it back the other way. Now sometimes this clay will actually remove and lift off a bunch of the junk and overspray, but since this car has sat for so long, it might only get so much off of there. But we need to attempt to get it as clean as we can with this clay. Work it over to a new section. This clay is already starting to remove some of this overspray and some of this dirt. You can see in certain areas, like right here, it's already really removing it, which really surprises me. So I use the Chemical Guys clay, their medium clay, and it was not removing this right here. All right, y'all, I'm kind of in awe of what that clay just did on this car to clean that up. I'm really, really impressed. So earlier when I used my clay that I mentioned, I don't remember getting that same result, that's for sure. Otherwise, I would have done that on the whole car already and would have cleaned it up. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try a spot like up here right next to this and see how it works. This is what I used. The Chemical Guys. It's the medium yellow clay. And then their Chemical Guys clay luber. So I'm not sure if the Chemical Guys clay luber is just not loosening it up like this stuff here did, or if their clay is that much better than the Chemical Guys clay, or what the deal is. So I'm gonna try to get to the bottom of this real fast. So let's try this. So here's the Chemical Guys clay. I have used this clay before. I've never used this piece of clay. So I'm gonna compare apples to apples. I'm gonna try a brand new piece of Chemical Guys clay. And I'm gonna use their clay luber, which is unmistakably blue. And let's see what we get. See, I'm using their clay, and I'm rubbing on this deal. Huh. See, and even at times it'll stick. See, I've been rubbing on it for a little bit, but look, it's like, it feels a little smoother, but it's still got all that junk in the paint. Okay, here's what I'm gonna try next. I'm gonna try using the Chemical Guys clay. Needed a bit more, but I flipped it and stuff and it wasn't picking anything up. I'm gonna try using their clay with this spray and see if this is helping to break it up. So let's see. Okay. Let's see if this is the difference. Huh. Their clay luber definitely makes this clay loosen up more than the way that it used to be. All right, let's see what we got. Let me pull the camera over here so we can get a good look at it. So after using their clay lube, it did seem to break some more stuff up. Now let's try this. Let's try their clay with the Chemical Guys clay luber. Let's see how this works. I'm gonna try to do just one section in the middle and see what we get. So this is with the Chemical Guys clay luber. Wow. That did not take long at all, y'all. Look at that. You can clearly see where I just worked it and it didn't take 30 seconds even, I don't think. So there is something about this Q2M clay that works really, really well. I'm impressed, y'all. I'm very impressed at what this clay is doing. Apparently, all clays are not created equal. Y'all let me know down in the comments if you have run into the same thing where you've tried a clay from one company and then tried one from another company, and one clay just way outperformed the other. I'm really interested because I can't say that I've ever run into this before. All right, so just for the sake of finishing this section up, and it's dry, okay? So I'm gonna use still the Chemical Guys clay luber, and I'm gonna finish up this section, but with this clay. Let's see how fast it cleans up. So again, you can compare it to that other clay. Look at how clean that is. That did not take long at all. I am super impressed. So, I don't know what the deal is, y'all, but for some reason, this clay way outperforms this clay right now. This is just called a mild clay, and this is called a medium clay. So, I don't know, y'all, but this right here seems to be the truth right now. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of this hood cleaned up, and then I'll catch back up with you. Alright y'all, this half of the hood has been clay barred now. You can see how clean it is. You can somewhat see also from here how dirty the other half is. That section of clay that I used is really starting to disintegrate, and as you can see, it has really changed from white to about a purplish gray, and I think it's pulled so much stuff off this paint that this is about done for. So whenever I go to do the other half of the hood, I'm going to use a new piece of clay. But it certainly has done the job. Let's look at it from this way. Alright, you can clearly see how clean this half of the hood is, and you can see how dirty it is over there. Sorry, there's a thunderstorm outside while I'm doing this, and even though my shop is insulated, you still can kind of hear the rain and hear the thunder. So now that we have a clean surface, it's time to break out the Milwaukee polisher and break out the cutting compound, and we're going to get to work on cutting. So before I start cutting on this hood, I just wanted to show y'all, look up here on this windshield. You see where the overspray and dust and stuff changes from being clean and clear to being on that windshield? I used that same clay bar right there on that windshield to clean that up, and look how good it looks. It took all the haze and everything off of it. So I'm definitely gonna order some more of that clay bar and probably some more lube for it and go over this whole car. The change on this car is gonna be dramatic once I get done with it. It's just going to be a lot of work, but it all needs to be done. You can see that stuff is all over the back bumper, all over the door, all over the glass. I'll get this big project done just one bite at a time, and eventually it'll look almost like a new car. So now we're going to get to work on this. I wanted to try to show y'all, you know, what we're currently dealing with and how it looks. See if I could pick up some of the scratches. You can kind of see some of the scratches there in the light. You can see it's got a bit of reflection to it now, but there's definitely some scratches. It's really hard with white paint to show y'all the scratches. I'm just going to work on a section, and eventually you'll see where the light is showing in the paint that there won't be as many scratches as there is right here, and that light will just come through much better. We are going to get started with our cutting compound along with our pad that I showed you earlier. And then last but not least, the Milwaukee tool. It's really nice that on this tool they turned the battery sideways, so that way when you're working on something, you've got room away from the paint from where you're working, and you're not gonna hit the paint with your battery. And that's just how much room it has without a pad even on it. It also has selectable speeds right here. You can vary what speed that you want it on while you have the trigger pulled and it's going along. You can change the speed on the fly. So for cutting and being a little bit new to this, I'm gonna start slow. I'm gonna be somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 per Dustin's suggestion. All right, y'all, again, I have never done this really before with a tool like this, but we're going to give it a shot. So I'm going to tap it around, put some compound on it, start with 3,000. So far the tool feels like it's working pretty good. It is a heavy tool, but on a flat surface like this, the weight of the tool, I'm just trying to let it do more of the work. I'm not really like bearing down on it. And I've still had it at 3,000 RPM, and I'm just working this section. All right, let's take a look and see how it's looking. As you can see, it has a real nice shine to it. It's really smooth. It's definitely cutting down some of the clear coat. It's definitely taking away some scratches. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more and work across this hood. Here is how it's looking. Over here, you've got the side that hasn't been clay barred or anything other than just wiped down. Over here, it's been clay barred, and I've been working on the cutting compound. And up in that corner up there, it hasn't had any cutting compound. It's only been clay barred. So I'm gonna try to show you what it looks like. So you can see the reflection of the light in there. Now we'll go over here, and you can see it's a lot more clear. It's real hazy and stuff on the top. And then here you can see it much more clearly. Look how clear you can see that light. You can see there's not much clarity to that light over here. Then you get over here, it's much more clear. So I'm really happy with how it's coming out. The next thing to do is transition to the polishing pad and polish this and then see what we get. So since you can already see the difference between the cutting and the section that's only been clay barred, to really see the clarity that we're gonna get, I'm gonna go ahead and polish this section. It's crazy how far it's come compared to that. All right, so now I'm gonna polish this. Let's see what we end up with. All right, so now I've got done polishing and cutting this section down here. There was that tape line up there. So now we're gonna move on up here and take a look and get a good close-up. Right in here is where that change is at. So we're gonna look at this reflection of this light. Right there. You can see the changes right here. There's that tape line. So watch this light. So you can see how hazy it is, and then right there, it's becoming clear. Not crazy? That's like half and half right there, the circle. Then that's how clear it is over here. That's pretty amazing. Well, let's see if we can see the change right up here. So you can see right there, the change in clarity. It isn't perfect still, but it has come a long ways. Obviously, it's much better than this over here, which is all dirty and nasty. All right, so now I'm gonna finish cutting and polishing that upper half, and then we'll get a look at the whole hood in half versus half. So this again is just cutting and then working the polish, and it is such a huge transformation. All right, the time's finally here to pull the tape and see how it turned out. This section right here, I'm still going to need to cut and polish. It's just kind of hard to get up in here and then not have, you know, my pad reach over. So I'll get this later. I got the end right here and then the whole rest of this hood. Look at that difference. Oh my gosh. That is crazy right there. This right here all has that dust and overspray. It's all rough. All nice and smooth over here and shiny. Almost looks like a gray hood versus a white hood. That's crazy, ain't it? The results on this car are such a huge transformation, and I can't wait to get other parts of the car cleaned up and looking as good as that half of that hood. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of hours, but in the end, it's all going to be worth it. I'm so happy with how it's turned out. All right, y'all, let's go over this Milwaukee tool real quick and let me give you just a little review now that I've used it on this paint and done this correction on it. Honestly, on this tool, I really like it. Everything works good. It seems to be made strong and tough, just exactly what I would expect from Milwaukee. It is on the heavier end of tools from what I've researched. Shout out to Scott HD. He does some really good videos on ceramic coating and different tests. And he has one really big test where he tests out tons of different polishers that he's bought on his own dime and tested. He hasn't tested this one yet because this one is new to the market. But if you're looking for a cordless Orbital polisher, you might check that out. This right here, this grip on the end worked really good for using it and for buffing on the car. The vibration isn't bad. My hands never really wanted to go numb or anything like that. So when you pull the trigger, which is a variable speed trigger, you can also use this knob right here to hold it on. And then it'll keep the machine running so you don't have to keep the trigger squeezed down. Also, all of the variable speeds that it has, you can change the speed while the tool is actually running. I'll show you that real quick. But that's really nice that on the fly you can adjust the speed. Battery life. So I'm using the 5.0 XC battery, and if you buy this tool with battery packs, it will come with two 6.0 batteries from what I've seen. So this is a tad smaller than what the tool will come with if you order it with batteries. However, I use this for well over an hour, probably an hour and a half-ish, and not on the highest speed, but still, it lasted the whole entire time. I did check the battery at the end of shooting the video, and it only had the one red square lit, so it was time to pull the battery off and charge it, but it still was running, and it hadn't really lost a bunch of power or anything at that point. So it lasted for the whole entire shoot of the video and the whole section of correction that I did on the paint. So overall, I'm happy with it. There's nothing up here that got my hands hot or anything from the tool running around. The pad seemed to stay cool all the time. The paint seemed to stay pretty nice and cool. Nothing from the air that was getting blown messed with my eyes or face or dust or anything like that. So overall, I'm really happy with this tool, and I'm really happy with how it performed. So I plan on using this not only to finish up this Camaro, but I'm also going to do some other projects with it. The G8 needs some polishing on it, and just whatever I need to do, I feel like this will be a good weekend warrior tool. So shout out to Dustin McGovney for helping me out, being super kind to show me what polishes and cutting material and clay bar and stuff to get. And I will also leave a link in the video description that will save you 10% and also will give Dustin a little kickback, which he is very deserving of. Thanks again, Dustin. And thank all y'all for watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.